Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft Java video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some shaders for Minecraft Java Edition. I am on the latest release, which is Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1, and going to take a look at the top 5 personal best shaders to use with Iris shaders. And for those of you who don't know what Iris shaders is, it's basically a mod which allows us to use shaders within Minecraft Java Edition, and it is quite similar to OptiFine if you've ever used OptiFine. However, Iris shaders is used with Fabric, which is essentially a mod loader. So as you guys can see, I do have a set of shaders enabled at the moment, and if I go into my options and go to video settings, and I can click on the shader packs menu here, and I can enable and disable any of these shaders. I'm now going to show you guys the top 5 best shaders to use with Iris shaders for Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1, and the reason I'm going to do a top 5 shader list for Iris shaders is because at the moment Iris shaders is quite new and not all of the shaders are actually compatible with Iris shaders. So some of them have skybox issues, some of them have water issues, and some of the legacy shaders also don't work properly with Iris shaders. And the reason for that is Iris shaders is a fairly new program and it was developed quite recently, so it's understandable that most of the shaders may not be working. So I've managed to track down a list of 5 shaders that do work well with Iris shaders, and we're going to now have a look at my personal top 5 best shaders to use with Iris shaders. Alright, so in the number 5 position, we have complementary shaders. Now, complementary shaders are based on the BSL shaders, and they are a rework of the BSL shaders, which give us more options. Unfortunately, with Iris shaders, we're not able to amend the shader options. So if I was to go into options, click on video settings, and then shader packs, there's no way to actually change the settings. So that is why I've decided to put complementary shaders in number 5. Even though it is a good shader, it is fairly similar to BSL shaders, and everything does work fine. The only thing I would say is that the rain drops aren't that visible in the water and when it rains. So let me just change the weather. So let's have a look at the rain. As you guys can see, even though we can see a bit of rain, it's not that heavily visible if we compare this to other shaders as well. So you guys can see some sort of rain appearing, but it's not that visible, as you guys can see there. So some of you might actually like this. You might like the fact that there's not much rain in your way if it does start raining, but some of you might want to go for that realistic feeling and you might want more rain to appear like it should. So this is the only downside that I could see for this shader, but apart from that, everything runs well. The underwater graphics are quite nice as well, as you guys can see over here. The water also looks good. We do have some nice reflections coming off the sun on the water. So let's change the weather back and set the time today. So as you guys can see, we have some nice skybox effects there, and the clouds do look quite nice and realistic. I really do like this sort of clouds that they put in the shaders, and you can see the clouds are moving as well. Look at that image there, it looks really nice. So if you guys are looking for a no-nonsense, straightforward shader pack for using with Iris shaders, then I would highly recommend you try out complementary shaders. Obviously, if we were to use this with OptiFine, that is a completely different story. We have many options, but with Iris shaders, I would say this is going to be in my number 5 spot. Okay, and in my number 4 spot, we have Triliton shaders. Now, this one is actually quite interesting. I didn't really take much notice of this in the past, but after using this with Iris shaders, I have to say it is quite nice. As you guys can see, we have some nice lens flare coming in there. The sun isn't really rounded, it is a square shaped sun there, as you guys can see, but we do have some nice lens flare effects there. Another good thing that I do like about this shader pack is that it's quite unique in sense of the colors. So you can see that the color palette is different to any of the other shaders we have seen. So I really do appreciate that the author has gone into the trouble of making this stand out a bit more. So if you guys are looking for something that's not generic or looks exactly the same like all the other shaders, then definitely give the Triliton shader pack a go. I think this is a really nice shader to try out. In terms of performance, it runs well. I haven't noticed any other glitches so far in this one, and I have played a few games with this, and I think it runs quite well. I do like the water as well. The watercolor does look nice. I do like the darkish blue colors that they've used there. Got some nice reflections coming off the sun there as well, and I think it is a nice shader to play the game with. And I'll also, if you guys have a look at the grass, I do like that color they've used for the grass there, the dark green color, compared to other shader packs which are quite bright. So I think this one is a quite unique shader pack and definitely worth checking out. This is the V8 version of Triliton's shaders. So if we go into options, video settings, shader packs, you can see that it says Triliton's V8 shaders. Another interesting thing about the author of this shader is that they actually have all of the shaders available, all of the versions available to download. So you can actually go ahead and download from version 1 to version 8 of this shader. So if you guys are looking for something new, something unique with the different colors, as you guys can see, we've got the darkish blue color scheme going on with dark green there as well, then definitely try out Triliton's shaders. Alright, and in number 3 position, we have the one and only BSL shaders. Now, chances are that if you have played Minecraft before and you've ever tried out a shader pack or used the shaders before, you've definitely would have heard of BSL shaders. If you haven't, then it is one of the most popular shaders out there. There's loads of shaders that are actually based off BSL shaders. That's how good it is. So, as you guys can see, it does look quite nice. I do like the color scheme in this one as well. They have some nice fog effects going on. The sky looks quite nice as well. We've got the squared off sun there. A little bit of lens flare coming off the sun there, but not too much. And then obviously the water does look quite nice. As you guys can see, we've got some nice reflections there of the sun coming in the water. If we go underwater, we also have some nice underwater effects as well. I think this is one of the better shaders to see with underwater effects. As you guys can see here, we can see quite clearly underwater as well. As mentioned about the complementary shaders, the raindrops also in this one are not that visible. So let's go ahead and change the weather. So as you guys can see, we don't have too many raindrop effects there. Obviously, it does seem like it's more rainfall than the complementary shaders. However, it's still not that much compared to the other shaders that we have seen earlier. So I would say that this is the only downside that I could see for this shader pack. So any of you guys that do like the extreme rain conditions, then you may be disappointed with this shader pack. But apart from that, everything does run quite nicely as well. So let's turn it back to clear weather, set the time today. So as you guys can see, we've got that nice fog effects going on there. We can see the sun's rays coming in through the trees there as well. It does look really nice. This is definitely my go-to shader pack when I am looking for something quickly and I want to try out and test out a Minecraft instance, for example. Then BSL shaders is definitely my go-to shader. So if you guys are looking for a no-nonsense shader pack that runs well, performs well, has nice water and clouds, and is a good performer and will not let you down, then definitely give a try for BSL shaders. In the number 2 spot, we do have Cuda shaders. So as you guys can see, everything does look quite nice here. I really do like the water effects. The Cuda shaders are actually quite a popular set of shaders. Other shaders were made using it, for example, Project Luma. Unfortunately, Project Luma shaders does not work well with Iris shaders, but the Cuda shaders are quite nice. I do like the water effects that are being used here, and the underwater effects aren't that great. The visibility isn't that great underwater, unfortunately, but everything else does look really nice. As you guys can see, we've got some nice realistic clouds. I do like the sun. I like the fact that it's not too enlarged. it does look like it is at the distance over there. And as you guys can see, this scene looks really nice over here. If you just leave the camera still completely, it does look quite realistic. So if you guys are looking for that realistic type of shader pack, then I think the Cuda shaders is definitely worth checking out. Let's check out the rain effects for this shader pack as well. As you guys can see, we can see a bit more rain coming in here compared to the other shaders, and we do have this other neat effect where on the screen we can see drops coming in of the rain, which I think is quite nice as well. I still think there is some issues with the water when it does rain. However, you won't notice it because you probably won't be flying around like this because I am in creative mode. So if you're looking for a shader pack that is different, has nice water effects, and has that realistic type feeling to it, then definitely try out Cuda shaders. I think it is one of my favorites to try out if I am going for that realistic effect. So let's change the weather back to clear and put it to daytime. As you guys can see, the clouds are also quite nice. We can see some nice realistic effects going on there, and we have some nice shadows coming in as well. And for my number one spot, or the best top shader to use with iris shaders, I would have to say it is Sildur's shaders. Now, Sildur's shaders is actually quite optimized to be used with iris shaders. It does work quite well. I haven't seen any issues with it so far. I am using the medium version of this shader pack. You can also download the extreme volumetric edition of this if your system can handle it, and you can also get the light version of the shader pack as well. In terms of performance and looks, I think this is one of the best shaders out there that you can get for iris shaders at the moment. So if you are looking for something that performs well, has no issues, then I would recommend you try Silder's shaders. I highly would recommend that we try Silder's out. It is one of the top 3 shaders out there for iris shaders in my opinion. If I had to choose my personal best, it would always be in the top 3 shaders to use with iris shaders. The water is quite nice as well. It doesn't have that realistic effect that we do see in other shaders as well. However, I do like this effect. I do like the sun's rays as well. So as you guys can see, the sun is nice and round there, and the reflection is also of a nice and round sun there as well. If we go underwater, the visibility is clearer compared to other shaders as well. So it is completely playable as well. Look at that effect coming in through the sun into the water and then onto the blocks there. I do like that effect. It's quite nice as well. So if you guys are looking for a good performer and something with good compatibility for iris shaders, then this would be my go-to shader pack. So if someone did ask me what shader would I recommend to use with iris shaders, immediately I would think of Sildur's, and I think this does have some nice compatibility with iris shaders. Another shader pack that is compatible and works quite nicely with iris shaders is the Skylec shaders. This is version 4 of Skylec shaders, and we're going to put this as the bonus shader for today. And the reason is that it does work quite nicely. I haven't noticed any issues with this one, and the good thing about Skylec shaders is that it is based for lower end machines. So if you do have a PC that can't handle your shaders that powerful, or it does struggle and give you low frame rates, then do give Skylec shaders a go. If I press the F3 key on my keyboard, we can see that I am getting close to between 300 to 400 FPS then the top left corner, as you guys can see. If I was to use another shader pack, for example, if I was to switch to Sildur's, it would drop down to close to about 200 FPS or possibly lower. So Skylec shaders, even though the visuals aren't that great compared to something like Sildur's, we do get the nice FPS and we do get shadows and moving grass as well, as you can see, and we do get textured water as well. So if you are looking to move away from that vanilla experience but still maintain a nice shader, then I would definitely give Skylec shader a go. If you guys are on a lower end PC or a lower end laptop and shaders aren't performing that well, you're looking for a higher FPS or a FPS boost, then do give Skylec shaders a go. I would highly recommend it. Let's check out the time, how it looks like at night time. So as you guys can see, we do have some nice sky effects going on there as well. and we've got some nice skybox effects going on there. I do like that effect, as you guys can see there. I would highly recommend that you guys check this one out. Even if you do have a powerful PC and you do get bored of using the other shaders, then you can obviously try this one out as well. You may sometimes want to go back to that vanilla feeling, but also have a shader pack installed at the same time. So this is a good mix of that vanilla and shader pack combination. So I would definitely put Skylec shaders as a bonus shader to use with Iris shaders. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Iris shaders for Minecraft Java Edition. So if you have already downloaded and installed Iris shaders in the past, then you'll probably know how to do this already. But for those of you who have never used Iris shaders before, this would be helpful. So I'm going to show you step by step how to download it, install Iris shaders, and then set it up, and then how to get all of these shaders working on your Minecraft Java game. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is to actually download Java, because we are going to use that to install Iris shaders using the Iris shaders installer. And if we open up our internet browser, and in our internet browser, if we just start typing in Java JDK 16, it's normally going to be the first link. So as you guys can see, this is the oracle.com link, and I will leave a link in the description for all of the downloads and files I've shown you guys today, so you don't have to go around searching for them. So let's download the Windows x64 installer, because I'm running a Windows-based PC, and this is the JDK version 16.0.2 file of the Java. So let's wait for that to finish downloading, and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has finished downloading the Java JDK 16.0.2 file. Let's close this down. The next file we're going to now get is actually Iris shaders. So in your search bar, just type in Iris shaders, and it's going to be the irisshaders.net link. So let's open up this web page, and if we go to the download now section and download the universal jar file, this is going to be the Iris installer. Let me just keep that file. So as you guys can see, it has now finished downloading the Iris installer, and this is the version 2.0.0 of the Iris installer. So let's close this down. We are also going to get a file now, because the Iris installer does allow us to actually install Fabric, which is a mod loader. So this is basically going to future-proof your Minecraft installation. It's going to allow you to download and install mods if you ever wanted to do that. So the first file we're going to download is actually Fabric API. So just type in Fabric API in your search bar and go to the curseforge.com link, and just click on the download, making sure the game version matches with your current game version. And let's wait for that to start downloading. Alright, so as you guys can see, it's finished downloading Fabric API. Let's close this down. The next file I'm going to download now is called mod menu, because when you actually install Fabric onto Minecraft, it doesn't have a button which shows you all the mods installed in the game menu. So just type in Minecraft mod menu, and again, go to the curseforge.com link and download the latest version of mod menu. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has finished downloading the mod menu file as well. Let me close this down. Now, we do have an option if you guys did want to install a mod, for example, we can go ahead and do that. So let's actually download a mod just to try it out. Let's download the display FPS mod for Minecraft and type in Fabric in the search bar as well. And if we go to the curseforge.link, this is the FPS display mod. Let's download this so we can actually keep an eye on our FPS when we use these shaders in the game. Let's click on download and wait for that download to start. Alright, so as you guys can see, the FPS display mod has finished downloading. So let's close this down, and finally let's go ahead and download a shader for Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1. And as I mentioned earlier, I do quite like the BSL shaders. We can also download Sildurs if you wanted to. I'm going to leave a link in the description for all of the shaders I've shown you guys today. So as an example, let's go ahead and download the BSL shader pack. So in the search bar, just type in the bitslablab.com website address, and this will take us to the BSL shader author's main website, and then click on BSL shaders, and then click on download, and then download the latest version, which at the moment is the BSL version 8.1 preview 1 edition. So let's click on this and let's wait for the download to start. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has finished downloading the BSL file as well. And what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to put all of these files on my desktop, and I'm going to show you guys how to install Iris shaders, enable mods, and enable shaders as well at the same time. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have placed all of the files on my desktop now. The first file I'm going to run is the Java JDK installer, and then make sure that I have got the latest version of Java installed. So let's go ahead and open up this file. Alright, so as you guys can see, I am now getting a message that says the software has already been installed on your computer. Would you like to reinstall it? I'm going to select yes and wait for that to finish installing. Alright, so after clicking next and then choosing your default directory, it does say Java has been successfully installed. So let's click on close. Let's move this file out of the way. The next file we can now install is the Iris installer. Now, because we've installed Java and Java is running on our system, we can right click on Iris installer, select open with, and then choose Java platform SE binary. And let's wait for the installer to pop up and give us the option. So as you guys can see, it says select edition. So we can only select Iris and Sodium. And the good thing is that Iris actually comes with Sodium, which is a performance enhancing mod. So it's combined with Iris shaders, which is really amazing in my opinion. Game version, we're going to select 1.17.1. Install directory, which is the default Minecraft directory. Now, this is the important step. So if you guys do want to enable mods in your Minecraft Java game, you have to tick this box. So it says install as a fabric mod. So make sure that this box is ticked. If you don't tick this and you hit install, it's only going to install Iris on its own, and it's not going to allow you to install any mods. So if you guys don't plan on installing any mods, you can just untick it and click on install. But let's go ahead and tick this and then hit install and wait for that to finish installing. So we do get a message that says an existing mods folder was found in the selected game directory. Do you want to update and install Iris? Select yes. And there we go. So it does say installation succeeded. So we can now close this down, move the install out of the way, and now we can actually launch the Minecraft launcher. Now, when the Minecraft launcher opens, you will notice it does say Fabric Loader over here. So don't be alarmed if it says Fabric instead of Iris. We are using Fabric instead of the Iris because Fabric is a mod loader and it's going to open up and put Iris into the mods folder as well. This is similar to Forge if any of you have ever used Forge before. If we go to the installation section, you can see that Fabric Loader is on here for version 1.17.1. Now, if we click on this folder icon here, it's going to open up our Minecraft default directory. Let's close down the launcher in the background. Now, in this folder, you should have a folder that says mods. If you don't have this for any reason, right click anywhere on an empty space, click on new, click on folder, and then rename it to mods. Alright, let's go into the mods folder, and as you guys can see, it's put Iris as a mod in the mods folder. If you did not tick the install as a fabric option when installing the Iris installer, it would not put this there and it would just load Iris on its own as a default. So now that we have selected Fabric, it has put Iris in the mods folder. Now in this folder, if we drag the Fabric API file, the mod menu file, and the FPS display mod, so in your mods folder, it should look something like this. You should have a bunch of jar file mods in there. Let's go one level higher into the Minecraft directory again. Now, if we look for a folder that says shader packs, again, if you don't have this folder, right click anywhere on an empty space, select new, select folder, and then rename it to shader packs like it's shown there. Let's double click on this folder to open it. Now, as you guys can see, it's currently empty, so I'm going to put the BSL shader zip file in this shader packs folder. So in your shader packs folder, you should eventually have a list of zip files of the shaders, and then you can select it in game. So let's close this down, and now we can finally open up the Minecraft launcher and select Fabric Loader to launch the game. Alright, so as you guys can see, it says Fabric Loader here. I can either click on play to open it, or I can go to installations and hover over this and click on play. So let's go ahead and do that, and let's wait for the game to load up. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has loaded up the game now. Let's enlarge this, and as you can see at the bottom here, it does say Minecraft version 1.17.1/Fabric. So we do know that Fabric is installed, and because we installed the mod menu mod earlier, we do now have this button which says mods, which is really helpful because we can click into this, and now I can actually see all of the mods that it has installed. So as you guys can see, we've got the Fabric API, Fabric Loader, FPS display mod as well. We've got the Iris as a mod here installed as well, and we've got mod menu, and finally we do have Sodium, which is a performance mod. It's going to help us get more frames in our game. So let's click on done. We can actually now go to options, click on video settings, and we can go to shader packs, and make sure that shaders is set to enabled, and then we can click into BSL, click on apply, and it's going to make it have a dark background with yellow text so we know it's enabled. Click on done, click on close, and then now we can go into our new game. I'm going to create a new world so we can have a look how it looks like. Going to enable cheats for this one, create new world. Let's wait for that to load up the world now. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has loaded up the game, and we do have some shaders running. As you can see, we've got the BSL shaders running there. If you look at the top left of my screen, I do have the FPS showing as well, which is really cool because it does show the FPS that I'm getting currently in the game, and this is all thanks to the FPS mod that I installed earlier. And because Iris Shaders actually comes with Fabric and Sodium, we do get that performance, and we do get the ability to install mods, which is really cool. So if you guys did find this video useful, please do give us a like. Do also post a comment in the comment section below, and let me know out of the shaders that I've shown you today, which one was your favorite, which one do you guys like to use, which ones would you like to use if you were to play a survival or adventure game in your Minecraft Java game. And also please do subscribe to this channel to help support it, help it grow, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.